project that I'm working on. It's called Ring Ring and Other Poems, and I'm going to start with the title poem, Ring Ring. This poem actually recently appeared in this online journal, Better, which does this awesome thing where they have videos of the poets reading the poems, and audio also. So if any of you are poets, I encourage you to submit. I think that's a really cool thing, and that more online journals should take advantage of the fact that you can do more than just have the poem. So Ring Ring. I tried to call you, but it was the middle of the night. The phones were asleep, all the rabbits too. And since the rabbits weren't doing anything noteworthy, really I didn't have much to say. Except that I had recently realized it would be impossible for me to swim the sweet, deep length of you. I could never do it. And since we both love shortcomings, that was something that we might have enjoyed. Yeah, so if you liked that, you can see me do it like infinite times at better.org. Vitrine. I love in the manner that the snowy jungle outside my door loves everything that it covers, decorating the street with icicles and luscious fruit. Why don't I live in a vacuum? Why don't I live in a cave? All the jungle animals use me as a measure of the growth of their children, who are good and strong, who appreciate flowers and never eat them. They crawl into my bed after I've just left and sing through the night, warm old songs that no one ever taught them. Notice that none of you brought your children, which is nice because this poem has lots of swear words in it. Actually just one, but it appears a couple times. It's called The Naturalist. Who am I to speak for the wolf, as though I had its eyes or teeth, knew where it runs? Who am I to speak for the whole wolf, or even half of it? To say this is the legitimate perspective of one constituent part of a wolf. I am a fucking naturalist, awesome in my range of inquiry. Hummingbirds come up to me to check my face and neck for flowers. My clothes are too tight, and I am often found in the steam of some sulphurous valley. I am a fucking naturalist. The world to me is like a doll's house. I have selected all the furniture, and it is very small. The change in size endows the world with charm, so people follow me around to see me handle the tiny trees, the perfect miniature boa constrictor that hunts the pet dogs at the edges of this little village. It's perfect. Each and every scale fitted to the next to form a surface still smooth through a magnifying glass. Slick like metal, but radiating a deadly heat. The snake goes after another dog. Who told the monarchs to migrate? Not me. I was with the desert winds, telling it to blow. I didn't mention that it also has pet death. Probably not good for kids either. This one is called So Good to See You Tonight, which is appropriate because it is so good to see you all tonight. It's not as positive a poem as that might lead you to believe. So good to see you tonight. We're thick smoke. Our stink in this empty arena, its wide black walls. We're burning it down. Everything you brought with you. It's a dream and it's on fire. You too, your thick smoke. Who can understand you? How you move, the way you sing in your throat. You too, you're on fire. The fury arrives like that. Everything behind you moon-raked, and everything in front of you doomed. If everybody drinks enough, maybe we'll feel like that. And the Marliot will make a lot of money, which they deserve. So, bottoms up, guys. This one's called Poem on a National Holiday. How is it satisfied, I asked, clapping my hands violently and waving in fear that I would miss the parade. I might have lost my sight without noticing, gone on imagining the same linked-up rooms I moved through, or some cool gray space where a silence could be made. I wanted a little animal, to climb inside it cleanly. I was asking to be left alone, but in answer the sun shone brighter. This one's called Political Theory. I'm inclined to tell you some things about it, but I'm going to tell you after them. In a famous painting of a founding father and the back end of a horse, it's the horse's butt that's properly lit. Groomed out, smooth, an immortal peach. Who can say what it means about revolution, that the horse's tail emerges as though it had no bones in it, no chunky mechanics of the living, and the horse is not well muscled, but has been living in the rich grass, swollen like a birthday balloon. What I wanted to tell you is that in my bio they mentioned that I was a lawyer, and when I was admitted to the Massachusetts bar, they do it in like Faneuil Hall. It's this like really great ceremony. They tell you about how like Massachusetts bar is like the oldest one in the country, like blah blah blah. They do it all like right under this like giant painting of George Washington in a horse's butt. There's just a horse butt like right in the middle of the whole ceremony the entire time, and everything I guess that happens in this like really special second floor of Faneuil Hall where John Adams hung out with a horse butt. It was really hard for me to focus. Say my name. This one's called Big Like a Cave with Nothing in It. Somebody paved the sky, and I liked it, because they put the stars back in. The cars went by, more lethal than ever. Like if I were driving, my arms would ripple with power. Ripple like the ribbon on a gift, which is what it was, to be allowed into this solar system with no responsibilities. Ships passing. We came into the morning unprepared, found its flowers open, saw that a girl on horseback was circling the city, shouting out the conditions of its surrender. Oh, the air was soft, as the pages of a paperback. You were my object, and I was the elephant you lived inside, came and went from. The foundation stone and the weather vane. What oceans you knew I had inside of me. So when you looked straight into my face, there I was, but there was also the blue sky behind me. This one's called A Baby Goat Turns into a Peach, which would be a charming thing to have actually happen. There's not enough of either in the world, probably. Only one thing comes out of this season, and what that thing is we want to be. We're down in the melt with the green to come, and all the flowers that we can't imagine. This is a feeling that must have been had before, meaning that we must have had it. It's sort of how I feel. It's one of the great, I grew up in New England, I love living here. It's like how I feel every season. You're like, it is fall, guys. This is really intense. It's beautiful. The leaves are going to start turning. It's like crisp. We all like put on our jackets today for the first time. At least that was me. And you feel like the changing of the season so intensely, but like it happened to you last year and the year before that and the year before that. It's a feeling that we've had before. This one's called The Third Half of the Battle. When I buried myself in the earth, It was in order to feel the coolness of the earth, and to give a reason for why the earth was so silent. Here, away from the godlike clouds, I could hold my own mind like a small animal. And why not bellow, "Hello!" or feel further for the roots of the trees? I smelled around for the reason. The silence took the noise and made more silence. This is called Addressed to the Artist or to the Subject or both, and it is after a William Kentridge drawing. He's a South African artist. Here you are, a fat and fingerprinted man, made of fingerprints, wholly composed of the fingerprints of people who have touched you, lent you their buoyancy. Did they tie you up at some point before they let you go? Leave you reaching for, what is that? A pail? Full of, what is that? Water? Did you want it? Did you need something to drink? Incorrigible. I mean the place where we screamed, with our heads underwater, and then high-fived because we had survived, and were still surviving our own emotions. I wondered if the shadows, in passing, had blessed me, or simply given me someone to talk to, a friend besides the freight train, which, although it no doubt loved me dearly, charged onward. In its wake was a dewy evening air that I loved in my turn, which love I showed by gulping it all down until the air was consumed and the evening was consumed, and the people of the shadows, had they known me, would have given me back to the night. This is the penultimate poem. I have some friends who are here who have a daughter who's really quite amazing, and she learned that word when she was like 2 and used it properly. So, for Helena, the penultimate poem. Employee of the Month. Once I was Employee of the Month. I mean that I belonged to time, that the slip of the days from blink into mist, for that month were mine to supervise. I owned each inch the grass grew, and each pass of a mower. My spirit animal was a cacophony. My hands were the sea and the shore. Everyone who fell in love then was just in love with me. I raised up skyscrapers. Boats were launched into me and through me, and I was thanked for it amply. A closet full of trophies I had no time to count. I was an overfull womb, a murderer, a spoilsport. I let things rot, and I experienced true coincidence. I wandered vastly the whole circumference of a hole dug in the ground. And when I died over and over. I bored myself through canyons, pulled birds from the sky in a fit of pique, bellowed and wheezed and sang. The month wore down with riots and explosions. Time was ungovernable. Joy began to feel like another kind of pain. Heavy is the head that wears this special access badge, I said to myself, as I entered again a secure area, laid 1,000,000 eggs, and oversaw the slashing of a masterpiece. The last one. Tell Us When, it's called. Like a ship in the sea of damp gray air, we wished it would go on forever. We would emerge and retreat, tied up in red strings. We felt it would go on, that always in the next room would be the yellow light of morning, clean panes of glass through which people could love us, but safely. And were a man to fall into a crevasse on the mountainside, he would be saved by a kind piece of rope. And were a storm to rise at sea, another man would come to calm it. Were the loaves and fishes to begin multiplying, they would keep doing so, because the past would be there beside us in our beds, stirring slightly, rocking against us in soothing fashion. What had been would go on being, while we lay about, exposing our bellies to the damp air. Senseless as we were to the demands of the world, which has to be cleaned and every day demands some sort of salvation, saying, why yes, you will be photographed until we understand you.